trailer. That's good.
Yeah.
Hey, we're supposed to be cheering, right?
Yeah. Woo, woo. Bonjour.
Vive Lafayette! Vive Lafayette!
Mark! Go, guys! Halt! Right! Right! Order! Close! Order! Right! Deputies!
Okay, that was just obnoxious.
You heard it first time.
Good afternoon. Heary. We're so proud to be in Warrenton today. We have General Lafayette with us, the hero of two worlds, French and American. Now we'll have the presentation of the colors by the ROTC unit and supported by the Georgia Sons of the American Revolution Color Guard. Present the colors, sir.
Hold on! Okay. Right! Present colors! Present fireworks!
We will now call on Reverend Ed Anderson, our SAR State Chaplain, for the invocation.
Each in his own way, each according to his or her faith, let us pray. Eternal and all-wise God, we come before your presence this morning acknowledging that you're God all by yourself, and we thank you for being sovereign in our lives and in your work. We pray your blessings, oh God, on this celebration of the first anniversary of the visit of General Lafayette to Warren County. Thank you for his significance then and his significance now. And we ask that you guide these ceremonies and make them all that you want them to be. Bless each person here and be with us all the days of our lives. In his name we pray, let every heart say, Amen.
We will now call on Jeannie Jokesberry. She will be singing the French national anthem.
Viva la France.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. We now call on Judy Smith to lead us in the pledge with the flag of the United States. She is with the John Wilson Chapter, National Society, Daughters of the American Revolution.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order! Silence! Order! Silence!
You may be seated. Thank you. We're blessed today with good weather. It was raining earlier, so thank you so much for this great afternoon. I'm John Trussell. I'm co-chair of the Georgia Committee, American Friends of Lafayette. We're putting on all the events in Georgia for the greeting of General Lafayette. We're closely coordinating our events with the Sons of the American Revolution, Color Guard, Militia, and the Daughters of the American Revolution. We have a lot of greetings and introductions to do, and now I'm going to call on Jeffrey Fowler to come forward and introduce some city officials.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to beautiful Warrenton, Georgia. I'm here representing the Warren County Chamber of Commerce. We helped host this local event here, and we're honored to help present the 200th anniversary of General Lafayette's tour of the United States. We're thrilled that Warrenton is once again a stop along this historic tour, and it was a symbolic journey that happened over 2 centuries ago when America celebrated our founding. Lafayette's tour happened from 1824 to 1825. I'm not going to talk too much about that because I want our wonderful spokesperson to come up. I will give you some history on where we're at. So this is the courthouse, and this land was donated by Starling Gardner. The first courthouse was erected, and then it burned in 1853. It was built again, and then burned again in the early 1900s. And then it was rebuilt, and then of course it was expanded in 2000 before it was, and then it was placed on the National Register. Here today we have both of our elected officials for this area. So we have Mayor Janice Thigpen, and we have our Chairman of the Warren County Board of Commissioners, John Graham. At this time, I'm going to invite up Janice to give a welcome from the city of Warrenton. Thank you.
As Mayor of Warrenton, it is my great pleasure to welcome Southern accent Marquis de Lafayette to Warrenton in celebration of the bicentennial of his farewell tour of America, which took place in 1824 and 1825. And also to welcome so many citizens of Warrenton and Warren County who are here to celebrate this historical event in our history. In 1824 and 25, Lafayette traveled throughout the United States, and during that trip, he spent a night in Warrenton. We commemorate that trip here today. Lafayette's life and travels deserve our attention. Not only did he significantly serve as a most trusted Major General for our victory in the Revolutionary War, but his voice against slavery and for women's rights and dignity for all was strong, not only in America, but also in his native France, making him a recognized hero in both countries. Warrenton was privileged to host him for an overnight visit 200 years ago, and is honored again to celebrate that trip and his valuable contributions to our country at this historic event today. Thank you. And now I'd like to bring up our Chairman of the Board of Commissioners, John Graham.
Thank you, and as Mayor Thigpen said, welcome to everyone to Warrenton and Warren County and this great event today. We're just delighted to be here. We have a joint proclamation for the Lafayette Farewell Tour. And it says, whereas the Warren County Board of Commissioners and the City of Warrenton are celebrating the bicentennial of the Lafayette Farewell Tour in 2024 and 2025, and whereas the celebration honors the visit to America of the last of the surviving major generals of the American Revolution. Whereas in 1977, during the American Revolution War, the young Lafayette first rendered service to America by traveling from France to give to the colonies, fighting for their independence, becoming one of George Washington's most trusted major generals and considered by many to be his adopted son. Whereas Lafayette was a lifelong evangelist for human rights, advocating for religious liberty, civil rights, and relinquished his own noble title during the French Revolution. Whereas Lafayette was an early and consistent voice against slavery in France and in America, where he consistently sought to persuade American friends, including George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison, to eradicate this evil. Whereas during his farewell tour of America in 1824 and 1825, he visited the then 24 states, always speaking about the ideals of liberty, justice, and democracy. Resolved, the Warren County Board of Commissioners, City of Warrenton hereby commends Lafayette for his dedication to the principle of democracy and equality for all, and proclaim the importance of American citizens everywhere to celebrate the bicentennial of his farewell tour to America in 1824 and 1825. Resolved further, the Warren County Board of Commissioners and the City of Warrenton declares Monday, March 24th as a time to remember and celebrate Lafayette's farewell tour in Warren County, Georgia, by Chairman Graham and Mayor Thigpen. Thank you very much.
We now have several presentations that we kind of want to get into. The first one is from the Masonic Franklin Lodge number 11. And Joe Wilkins and Sam Boundary are here. Sam is the junior warden, and Joe Wilkins is the Lodge Master. If you gentlemen will come up. General Lafayette was a brother of all the Masons, and it was a big part of his life back in the early 1800s. And wherever possible, he visited his brothers wherever they were found. So we're trying to recreate some of that. And now I'm going to call on Joe Wilkins, Lodge Master, to make some comments.
Good afternoon, esteemed guests and dignitaries. I would like to express my gratitude to the Sons of the American Revolution and the City of Warrenton for organizing this event and inviting the Freemasons of Warrenton to take part. Franklin Lodge was originally formed 218 years ago in 1807. Since our inception, the Masons of Franklin Lodge have remained dedicated to our mission of taking good men and making them better, as well as employing these men as forces for advancement and good deeds in the community. We look to the past for guidance, the present for inspiration, and the future for opportunity to support the City of Warrenton and surrounding communities. We love our visitors. We welcome men from all races, creeds, and religions. Our meetings are held on the second Monday of each month with a meal and fellowship at 6 p.m. This is an open invitation. If you're interested in learning more, please come visit or just come speak to one of us. General Lafayette became a Mason between the age of 19 and 20. It is disputed as to where he became a Mason, whether in France before joining the Continental Army at the age of 19 in 1777, or shortly after. However, the most widely accepted and best supported belief is that General Lafayette was made a Mason after coming to America, most likely after meeting George Washington. This version is supported by Lafayette's own writings. American Masonic scholars place the time of the initiation during the winter of 1777 to 1778, when Washington's army was wintering at Valley Forge. It is believed that General Washington himself may have acted as master of the lodge during Lafayette's initiation. To this day, General Lafayette stands as a shining example of what it means to be a Mason. 200 years ago, President James Monroe and the United States Congress extended an invitation to General Lafayette to tour the 24 states that made up the United States of America at that time. It is my honor and privilege as Master of Franklin Lodge Number 11 Free and Accepted Masons, working under the Grand Lodge of Georgia, to welcome General Lafayette to the city of Warrenton once again.
Bonjour,
Bonjour.
ladies and gentlemen, Madame et Monsieur. Thank you very much for being here today. It is an honor, it is a privilege to be among everyone here at Warrenton. It is an honor and a privilege to be with my brethren, both who served in the army, but also my brothers. It is an honor to call myself not only a Mason, a soldier, veteran, I believe you call it, as well as an honorary citizen of this great nation. I have been overwhelmed with the reception of my trip from every state, every city, every county. With each visit, it seems like the new cities are trying to outdo the last ones. And so I'm very impressed that you continue to show me that. And you even held off the weather so that we can. Now, unfortunately, I was a little sick on my arrival. I believe you call it under this weather. But I am well enough to stand before you today. With these receptions, with the traveling across all of these states, I reminisce. I reminisce of all of the feelings, the emotions that I had, the reasons for me joining your cause. I remember at the age of 19, reading the Declaration of Independence in French for the first time, and being inspired to fight for the rights of man. It was at this point that I had attached myself, my heart, to your cause. I had but to join your colors. Now, paying for my own way across these oceans in order to come to these Americas, to fight in your armies, I was made the youngest Major General at the age of 19 for your armies, and I will prove myself, as they have mentioned, becoming a close friend to General Washington, close enough to consider him my adopted father, and he will consider me his adopted son. Close enough that two of my children, I say, their godparents are George and Martha Washington, giving my son the name George Washington Lafayette, giving my daughter the name Virginie, out of respect, out of admiration. You see, when I was given this invitation to come by President James Monroe, I could not turn it down. I knew I had to come here, but I was only going to stay for a couple of months. When word received from every state that I was going to be here, I had people, statesmen, travel all the way up to New York, to your Washington City, and some of the surrounding states, inviting me to come to their state. And so I've extended my tour
and I will attend all of your states in this union, all 24 of them. And I will accept as many invitations as possible, knowing, of course, that one of them, a standing invitation, will be to every one of the lodges that I can arrive at. My heart is attached to you because I so love this country, and I believe that you also love me. I love the idea, this grand republic, this experiment on government, as James Madison would say. I believe that this constitutional republic will continue to shine, will continue to be a beacon for the rest of the world, for liberty and freedom. And with that, it reminds me of something else. It was in Virginia, in a gathering much like this, that I witnessed an individual, and I remember his name. I would like him to come up right now. You see, he was impressed that not only I recognized him, but I remembered his name. This individual served not only with us, but he served as a spy in British General Cornwallis's headquarters, sending information directly to myself. This information was vital to Yorktown and the success on the siege of Yorktown. It was at this meeting in October of just last year, this individual, so surprised that I remember him, he came up to me and he asked me, "May I take your last name?" And I was proud. I am honored not only to give you that name, but also to make sure that no one else will forget it. James Armistead Lafayette, as he will forever be known, is a good friend of mine. You see, the British did not know he could read and write. And so he was able to gather that information, sending it to me. This vital information. And I also wish, and I know, that this man, this great honored man right here, will also be a beacon for the rest of the world. Monsieur?
My oh my, seeing you today brings a flood of joyous emotions as I recall all of the successes, all of the trials and tribulations of my service during the Revolutionary War. General, it was you who made sure that I would not be forgotten after I risked my life going behind enemy lines to gather information, vital information and intelligence for you and others in charge so that we could change the outcome of the Revolutionary War. Thank you for using that information, and thank you for allowing me to help you to recover that information. We are the United States of America because of what you enabled me and others to do. Now, General Lafayette, others celebrated our victory after the Revolutionary War. But while they celebrated, I was sent back into bondage. But you would not stand for that. You made sure that the truth was known. You made sure that my service, that my courage, that my intelligence might make a difference in this country, and we would not continue under British rule. General Lafayette, you saw in me not just a spy. You saw not just a soldier. You saw a man who, like you, was created in the image of God. You saw in me a man who had to sacrifice so much to earn his freedom, which in reality is God-given. My dear General, because of the will of God, I stand here today as a free man, not a forgotten man. Because you allowed God to use you to deliver me and so many others in this country, I am eternally grateful. My dear friend, this country owes you a great debt of gratitude. And it owes to men like me a debt of gratitude as well. Men who fought, bled, and risked everything for freedom that was not guaranteed and that was not promised to us. You made sure that my service and sacrifice was counted, and you made sure that my name, even your name, was written on the pages of American history. And for that, my people and my family are grateful. I too, James Armistead Lafayette, am grateful. Thank you, General Lafayette, not only for what you did in fighting to make this country free, but for fighting for my freedom as well. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend.
Viva la liberté!
As we move into the 250th anniversary of the founding of this country, let us not forget the 5,000 African Americans and other nationalities that fought for us in that war. April the 19th marks the battles of Lexington and Concord, the first battles, the first shots of the American Revolution. So that's just a few weeks away. So we begin that celebration, and we ask that you remember all of the people that gave their lives for our freedom. We'll be duplicating this meeting at all of our meetings in Georgia that we can, and we appreciate your opportunity to come and witness that event that carried forward from Virginia years ago. I'm now going to call on Dan Mueller. Dan is the owner of the Jacob Burkhalter House here in Warrenton. And as you might know, that was the home of Jacob Burkhalter, an American patriot that fought in the American Revolution. And it's still standing. It's been renovated. It's had some rough days and storms and that sort of thing. But it's open for your visitation today after the reception. And I'll now call on Dan to make some comments about the history.
Good evening. My wife and I have the privilege of owning the house that Jacob Burkhalter built in 1778 and that Lafayette stayed in 200 years ago today. The house was originally on the corner of Main Street, about a block and a half down, but it got moved in the late 19th century. And sometime along that period, it was damaged by a tornado in March of 1875. It was once a two-story house, and it got rebuilt as a story-and-a-half house as it stands today. And it got moved about 600 feet away to 69 Davis Street, which I hear some people earlier today had some trouble finding it. So 69 Davis Street. It's going to be open for you to visit after we have the reception up till about 7 o'clock, for as long as y'all want to hang out. Thank you.
I now want to introduce Bill Tankersley. He's the Senior Vice President of the Georgia Sons of the American Revolution. They have been instrumental and very strong in all of our supports for General Lafayette.
Thank you, John. On behalf of the Georgia Society Sons of the American Revolution, President Bill Floyd, our 35 chapters and 1,900 members, I bring greetings. Thank you for being here with us in historic Warrenton today. Let's give everybody a round of applause as worked so hard to make this possible. I just want to thank you all for coming, and viva la France.
want to express our appreciation also to the Daughters of the American Revolution. They were very instrumental in this event and all the ones across Georgia, and without their financial support, these events would not be possible. It was the Jacob Burkhalter chapter that years ago got started here, and they were actually absorbed into another chapter in Thompson, Georgia, but their support of this event was very important, and we appreciate the DAR. We appreciate a lot of different groups. You'll see them mentioned today at our reception that's going to take place immediately after here at the Civic Center. Now we're going to have let's see here. We're going to do the musket firing now, and then we'll do the marker.
Alicia, attend. Hot. Left shoulder, forward.
I'm not gonna be able to plug my ears.
Right about face. On the load.
This one is good for us. No, no, it's okay. I was just saying, I won't be able to plug my ears. I'm not gonna plug mine.
Hold on. Reset.